Well, hello everyone. It's good seeing you on this fine day. I'm not sure what day you're viewing the video. It could be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. But whatever day it is, I hope it does find you well. We're on episode 11. I'm Ron Cross, and we're going to be talking about light fall. And if you want to know more about that, stay tuned. But before, please like, share, and subscribe. It would help me immensely as we grow this channel. And I'm hoping that you're finding it useful, you're finding it interesting. And if you would like to be part of this channel and share your stories with us, please just look down below. There should be a link to our email, and email us your story. And quite possibly we'll be able to share it online so that everybody else can hear it. And remember, if you do submit, the mission statement for this channel is to create a positive environment, a safe haven, so that we can get together and share things that are of a positive nature. We've already said that there's so much negativity out in the environment presently that we want to counteract some of that. We don't want to talk about politics. We don't want to talk about left or right. We don't want to talk about who's right or wrong. We just want to talk about stories that inspire people or cause them to pause and think. And if we do that, and if we cause you to do that, then we've succeeded. So when you share, if you do, please kind of share a story with us that helps add to this environment we're trying to create. Okay, with that, let's talk about light fall. You know, light has been used as a metaphor for many, many things. And when you become illumined you become enlightened, you become more aware of your surroundings. When you become enlightened, you understand things probably a little more profoundly. It allows you to think more deeply. So this idea of light falling and causing people to pause is important. It's important for a couple of reasons. One is that we grow. And if we're not growing, we're dying, right? I mean, that's the bottom line. We all want to practice lifelong learning. And as we practice this lifelong learning, it could be formal studies, toward degrees and things of that nature, or it could be lifelong learning from the standpoint that we want to become a better person, a more knowledgeable person, a more understanding person, that sort of thing, so that we can share with others and help make this a better world. And if you leave this world and it's better because you've lived, then you've lived well, of course. So that's one aspect of the light fall. The other is this idea of self-healing. And when I say self-healing, I believe it was Socrates. Some of you out there can check me on this because I'm doing this from memory. I believe Socrates was one that said, how can you hope to heal the body if you ignore the soul? Wow. Sometimes I hear things that people have said, whether, my colleagues, friends, neighbors, associates, or I hear some great person in history make these very insightful statements that really hammer me, that make me stop and think that this is profound. And I know that you may think that I use this word a little too much, but when something is profound, it means it's striking. It causes you pause to think a little more about it because you want to understand it and see how it might apply to your life. But how can you hope to heal the body if you ignore the soul? So this idea of light fall, giving you a moment of pause, really is nurturing. It's healing. It's one of those things that if we ignore it and don't take the time to pause and just kind of empty our minds and let whatever comes come and think about, I think we're shortchanging our lives. We're not being all that we can be because we're not allowing ourselves those moments of reflection. And I got to tell you, I have benefited greatly from those moments of reflection by others who have then shared them with me. we grow as human beings. We strive to get better. And the only way we can do it is open our minds, close our mouth, and open our ears and listen to others. Now, that's not to say that as we open our minds, profound understanding might not come to us. It will, if we just kind of empty ourselves. And in the emptying, we're opening up really to the world and to the universe and say, here I am. What more need there be? There's been many great thinkers who have said things like, I'm not a genius, I'm just innately curious. You know who said that? Einstein. Einstein said, I'm not a genius, I'm just innately curious. I'm overwhelmingly curious. I want to know more. I want to understand more. And when I see something that perks my interest, I'm going to think about it. I'm going to pause and think about it. There's stories about Albert Einstein being given a lecture, and all of a sudden he's doing a derivation of some complex formula, and he pauses. And he pauses. And he pauses. And he pauses a little longer. And pretty soon his students get a little concerned. They're not sure what's going on with their professor. But what's happened is he's following a trail of thought as he works through something in his mind that has come to him that is so important to him, he cannot let it go in the moment. He has to follow that thought. So the question is, have you ever been there? Have you had to take a moment of pause to follow the thought? I have. Now, I haven't, in a lecture with my students, I haven't paused and kept them after class because I'm not lecturing, I'm just standing there. Einstein did. But I've been on my own, just emptying my mind and let what might come, or I see something of interest and it leads me down a path of thought. You know, I thought about this enough that when I'm out walking, and I love walking out in nature, I guess I got that from my grandfather. My grandfather would take my brother and I out into the woods, and we would just walk through the trails, and he would point things out to us, like this plant is dangerous, this plant is edible, here's what you need to look out for as you step over a log or an obstruction. Before you do so, look on the other side, see what's there, right? You might be surprised. There could be a snake, right? But one of the things I found is as I walked out into the woods and I take these hikes, these walks of solitude, I see how the light plays on the leaves of the trees. I see how the light plays on the ponds or the rivers that I come close to. And you know, that happens quite often. It happens so much in my past. It's profoundly changed me because of I'm a little more curious about it. Maybe not so innately, but maybe I am. I want to understand it a little better. I want to know how I fit in to the world, how I fit into the family, how I fit into this work environment that I'm in. And more importantly, perhaps, how I fit into nature. I don't want to run rough trod over it, but I don't want to separate myself from it either, because I'm part of nature. I want to experience it. I want to immerse myself in it. And as I immerse myself in nature, in these walks of solitude, I want to open my mind and let it fill me. I wrote a short poem, and forgive me, I know you guys go, oh, great, here's another one of those guys that likes to share poetry, and it's no good, right? Yeah, well, I can appreciate that. But it's kind of the capture of the moment in one of the walks that I took. And the title of it is Lightfall, and it's very short. Have you seen how the light falls upon and through the evergreen? The matte of muted color, the unexpected diamond of morning dew, the way the ribbon rolls upon the water, so fragile, eternity curled around this moment. Have you been there? Been where eternity curls around the moment and refuses to let go because you're immersed in the moment. We live a more quality life. We live a higher quality life when we are immersed in the moment and not rushed off to some other place to be, not always desiring to be some other place other than the here and now. I had a friend, a former manager, tell me one time, and this was when I was in high school. He said, Ron, you can learn to like most anything. If you don't like your job so much, find something about it that you do like. Immerse yourself in it, and you'll find something of value there. And he was right. I was immersed in the moment. I let myself be exposed to the light fall on my walks of solitude. I hope this has been helpful. If I've said something that you liked and it was meaningful to you, please like, share, and subscribe. It will help me with the YouTube algorithm, and it will also enable me to share more of my thoughts on this journey that we're both taking through life. All the best, and I will see you next time.